gentlemen. Welcome to the Real Estate Vue. We are super excited. I am Miki, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Kim and Lorraine.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Happy 2 days before Halloween.
Right. Yeah. Halloween Eve.
Yes, kind of. But mostly I'm like the end of the month.
Yeah. The end of the first month of the fourth quarter.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. I know if you are an entrepreneur out there, you know what those quarter means. It's like, did I get my goals and all that? Yeah.
It's either a mad rush or you're celebrating your wins. One of the two, like a mad rush to finish or accomplish whatever goals you had for the year, or you're celebrating how far, maybe even exceeding the goals that you set for yourself and the business.
Exactly. Yes. And so today we have a special guest.
We do.
Oh, but even before that, I think we should also mention that this is our 20th episode already of the Real Estate Vue. So we have a couple of accomplishments and milestones to celebrate today.
That's
Yay! Awesome. And so we are celebrating with a special guest.
Yes.
Our guest is Yesenia. And I will read quickly her bio here. And then, we will ask her questions, but really she has a fantastic bio and I'm just giving the big lines here. So Yesenia was born and raised in Luquillo, Puerto Rico. I have visited Luquillo. It's really beautiful. And she came to the US at age 10 and a half when she first realized that it was a big world after all. Yesenia is a passionate real estate entrepreneur, an NLP master coach, and a national real estate coach. She focuses on breakthrough coaching for entrepreneurs who are ready to break the chains of their glass ceiling, embody their role stars, stand in their power, take charge, and fall in love with their life again. I just love that. Fall in love with your life again. Mm-hmm. She coaches hundreds of business owners and growing and scaling their business. And so as a real estate coach, she brings years of deal analyzing, underwriting residential and commercial deals nationally, from rehabby condos to single-family homes in 2004. And now she's doing new construction development and multifamily syndication in multiple cities. So welcome, Yesenia.
Without further ado.
Yes. Hello.
I love it.
Where's the champagne? Just your 20th episode.
I know. We didn't want to share that just at the start. We kind of wanted to surprise you with that fun fact.
Want to be on the 50th.
Super excited. Oh, you know what? I like that confidence and that speaking it into existence. We're booking you for our 50th show. That's
there you go.
Well, we were super excited to have you here. And I know there's only but so much time we have. You couldn't even fit in all of your accomplishments, but I know some additional things that you've been so busy with in addition to real estate is you're a veteran. You've been in the it's Air Force, right? Did I have that right?
Air Force for 10 years.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah. Thank you for your service.
Yeah. Go Air Force.
And I mean, we do have Veterans Day coming up. So, it's on a Thursday. We should have planned this better, guys. We could have had her on for Veterans Day.
Yes.
But maybe we can just kind of jump right into, just some of your experience, like how you started in real estate, kind of some of what you're doing now, and just share with us. Let us revel in all of your knowledge.
Your awesomeness.
Yes. That's the word I was looking for, Kim. Thank you.
Well, it all started back around 2004. And it started with a book. Maybe you guys have read it as well. It is a very common book, Robert Kiyosaki's book, right? It inspired me in a way where I was super curious of real estate. It got me curious about real estate. And that was back in 2004. So I started with small condos, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom condos. That's what got me into the love of real estate. And I think I might have mentioned it before, that the very first property that I did, to make a long story short, it was a condo, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. All I did was update the kitchen, painted a few walls here and there, and updated the bathrooms. And mind you, I didn't know what I was doing. I really didn't. I just
Nobody would know that. Nobody would know.
I just dived in, and thankfully God blessed me, and it was an interesting experience, because that's when I realized, oh, there's a little check that they give you after you sell the property, and it's like, oh, this says my name, and it says $70,000, right? So that was one of the things where I was like, oh, this is what this is all about. So that's when it just kind of like slapped me in the face. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to learn everything that I can about real estate. And here we are, 2021, still immersed and still involved with real estate. It's been a journey, ever since then. A beautiful one. So,
yeah. I mean, $70,000 now, for even profiting $70,000 on a flip right now is a lot. I can only imagine that in 2004, and this is your first deal. Like that's awesome. That's really great.
Yeah, and I was still in the Air Force during that time, so that kind of money, that was unheard of. Like.
I might have went AWOL after that. Like, you know what? I think I have to go.
Yeah. So, but no, I stayed in. I did my 10 years.
Yeah.
And I finished my bachelor's degree, still in the military, still doing some real estate on the side. And ever since then, I've just been finding ways to learn more and more and more. How can I learn more? Who can I learn from? What kind of training can I get to excel in real estate and implement the right type of systems? So
Yesenia, I know that you have an IT background. So how has that type of background helped you in regards to analyzing properties? Does it help to have that sort of a background?
I think it does, and it's interesting you mentioned that, because in the beginning, when because I was in love with IT, right? And then I fell in love with real estate, and it's actually very similar in a sense, because we kind of have to figure out what the problem is, what's the solution for this particular house, right? To make it better, give it more value, to bring it back to life. If it's a lot of us do redevelopment, right? So if it's in a place where it needs some loving, right? So IT, it's in a sense the same way, because I was looking for the right solution for, where there is a specific problem in the network, or problem on a website, or problem, on the router, things like that, right? And also we get to, I got to the point where I was building actual virtual networks for companies, right? So for the government, actually. And it's kind of the same, in real estate, we deal with the foundation, with the roofing, the everything that makes a home, right? So it's very similar, and I think that's why I like it, because it's problem solving.
Yeah, right. I was just going to say it falls right in line with everything that we kind of do, which is mainly problem solve.
Yes. Yes.
So
Absolutely. And I love the fact that you have, you could have stayed doing just condos or residential, but you went into multifamily syndication deals, and now being a developer. I just, what brought you into changing like that?
that's a good question. My curiosity. um, I've, it's interesting. I've never really had a true plan when it comes to real estate. I'm the kind of person that just does. I just go do. And if I see something, I'm like, oh, well, how do I do that? Right. And that's how it's been. It's real estate is an umbrella.
It is, yes.
It's a huge umbrella. Like IT. IT is a huge umbrella. Right? So real estate, I believe that some people believe, hey, yeah, focus on one thing, do this, wholesale. Just wholesale. Or just rehab, or just and I comprehend all that, and it's great. Yet I also believe that if you really want to be an expert in real estate, like you're the expert, right? You got to know the umbrella. What are all the little branches of the umbrella? What do they bring to the table? How can you leverage each branch, right? Each section to your real estate business. And that's the type of vision that I had. And that's how it's turned out. And getting into commercial, first I got into new construction.
Mhm.
I just started with one lot, bought one lot, see what would happen. Then I bought more lots. And, from there, I ended up buying more property that was actually zoned commercial multifamily. And hence, that's what created the opportunity of me doing an actual 27 townhome development. So,
Did you say 27?
27, yeah.
Wow.
You say it like so nonchalantly, like just
it's like
27
I did
units.
27,
It's
just
like,
27
what?
townhouses.
Say that one more time. 27 units. Okay. Very nice.
Houses. It's like a neighborhood. You created a neighborhood.
The whole city.
Yes. For some people, it's like their whole village, right?
Village.
Yeah. And it's it wasn't something that I was looking for. It just kind of showed up. And and that's usually how it happens in my life. These beautiful opportunities, they just pop up. And when I realized what I had in front of me, I was like, okay, this is awesome. I want to tackle this, right? So once I make a decision on something, I'm like
lasered in on it. Yeah,
just laser in, and so it just kind of happened, right? I know that's probably not what many people want to hear, but it's been very organic, very organic, and I think that's the beauty of it, right? So, and so that's the development side, and multifamily. It's another interest of mine that I really want to. I challenge myself. I'm my own biggest competitor, right? So I choose certain things to tackle for myself, right? So that's how it's kind of happened. Okay, if I'm doing this, what's the next step? Okay, now I'm doing this, what's the next step, right? And that's how that's just how it's turned out. Thankfully to the heavens above.
So I kind of have a two-part question. When you first started out, did you have anybody that kind of like a mentor or anybody to kind of guide you in a sense, or did you just like know that this is what you wanted to do?
That's a great question. At first I did not. At first I did not. And then I started looking for a mentor, looking for how can I learn more about real estate and get more immersed into it. And then in 2013, I did come up with a national company that trains on real estate. And it was one of those things where I'm like, this is it. I need to be involved with this.
Mhm.
I need to hone down on that training. And thankfully, it's almost like what catapult my knowledge, my experience in real estate, and the things that like I just went for it. I mean, it was just I've never, this is an interesting thing. I've never been afraid of doing projects, never, until I speak to somebody else and they start jabbity, and then that's when I'm like, oh my gosh, they just scared the shit out of me. I jack this up, So I've never been afraid of jumping in, learning what it needs to be done and getting it done. I think one of the main things though is because I really do focus on the numbers, on the actual numbers, like before I get into a project, I always look at those numbers. I'm talking about rehabbing or new construction, even multifamily, it has to make sense as far as the rental cap rate that you're getting and all that stuff.
Correct. Yeah.
So, and I know everybody talks about that, about the numbers, but they don't really hone down. A lot of people, they just want to do a deal, so they just go for it, and then, sometimes that's how they get in a pickle.
Mhm.
Right? And I think I have had gotten myself into pickles.
You gotten yourself into a pickle a couple of times.
So it happens to all of us, and yet those are the best. How do you say it in English? The best learning curve.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Yes.
So, yeah.
So what were like the lessons that you've learned into your pickles?
Don't rush.
Mm,
Pick the right. If you're going to go into a partnership, know who you're going into partnership with,
okay.
and take your time in making those decisions. Really evaluate the value that they bring versus where you're at right now, right? They need to bring in a specific value that you don't hold already. And then you guys merge together, and that's a good partnership.
Right.
Yeah.
Play to your strengths.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the second part to my question is, the reason why we do the Real Estate Vue is to empower, women who want to get into entrepreneurship, even real estate. And I know you said you had that opportunity presented to you. What kind of mindset do you have to be in order to accept that kind of an opportunity?
One is what I see in people that I've coached before. What I see most is the sense of not knowing, the sense of, I don't have the money, or the sense of, well, like, I don't know how to analyze a property or a building or, the space, land. It's fear, right? And I think the biggest tip that I can give anybody out there is when you feel that fear, that's when you have to do it. You have to, because that's the only way to grow, right? If it scares you, as long as the numbers fit, right? Do it, because the numbers don't lie. 1 + 1 will always be 2, right?
Mhm.
So the numbers don't lie. If you're analyzing and, you know, underwriting a property and it makes sense in here, right? In your gut, in your intuition, just go for it. You know, once you make a decision, everything else synchronizes and voila, it happens. You have to make the decision first, right?
Yeah, yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
So,
absolutely.
does that answer your question?
It does. It does.
So, Yesenia, you've been coaching for a couple of years, right? And
I've been coaching for 8 years.
for 8 years.
Mhm.
And I know you coach in a very special way. And
Mhm.
now you have your own coaching business, which is Yespreneur. Would
Yes.
you mind sharing with us a little bit like your approach?
Yes, I love to. I believe, well, before I get into that, one of the things that I really, really believe in is we all need a coach
Yes.
for different things. As an adult, you know, you remember where, oh my gosh, I'm a teenager now. I know everything, mom and dad. You don't have to tell me anything, right? Well, guess what? As we grow older, we keep thinking that we know everything and that we're fine and all that good things, all that good stuff. Well, I really, really believe wholeheartedly that we do need coaches in our lives, you know, whether it be a financial coach, whether it be a business coach, health coach, you know, um, um, anyone that wants to lose pounds, you know, my advice is go get a coach. You don't have to do it alone. You know, they'll guide you, even if it's for 90 days, right? In business, I strongly believe that I need a coach. I do. And I have 3 of them right now, right? For different things. So, with that said, I coach people. I coach entrepreneurs mainly, entrepreneurs who they do have success already.
Mhm.
Yet for some reason there's some change there that they need to step up, like break apart from them, and really help them get to that next level, right? And it's through a specific process. I believe mindset is everything,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Those chains, it's all the mindset, what I call could be programming, right? It could be stuck points for whatever reason that we have that life has brought us. And we don't realize it as an adult yet we get stagnant and we get stuck there. And that's when, you know, I step in and I kind of like hold your hand and we do it together. Yes. And mindset is everything in anything in life, whether you want to lose pounds, whether you want to get the next job in your career in the corporate world. You know, if you don't believe in yourself, that's something that's keeping you from
Yes.
getting the next promotion. If you don't believe, if you're an entrepreneur, you don't believe in yourself that, you know what, I can buy that 50 door multifamily unit and
Right.
I will. I don't know how, but I made the decision that I am going to, right? That's the type of mental status, mental stability, mental strength that I believe with all love, people don't have. You know, some don't. And I think that's where things kind of fall apart, right? Because people are in their daily routine, you know, going 200 miles an hour, 300 miles an hour, and they're just like, I need to do this, I need to da, 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 da. Yet they don't have that full clarity, that mental state of clarity where, you know, these are my main 3 goals. Bam, 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 bam. This is where I'm headed in the next 6 months. Let's go do that, right? Not believing in themselves is big, and then the the fear
Yes.
of the unknown. Well, guess what? COVID happened. There's no excuse. There's no more excuses, right? Our entire world has changed, and we need to step into the power that we have within us, right? And I focus on that first, breaking those chains that are keeping you from stepping into the power for you embodying the role that you want to be, whether it's business, whether it's your spouse, a girlfriend, the kind of relationship, how do you want to show up as a spouse, as a girlfriend, as a business partner, as for the people in the corporate world, in your job, as a leader, right? In a business, how are you showing up as the leader that you're supposed to be for your team, right? So working on that first is what I do. And then we focus on the business. We do that for 90 days. I'm a firm believer, I've been blessed to be able to work with very high level executives in my corporate world, Air Force and corporate world. And for the first 90 days, high elite executives, what did they do? They focus on who's who in the zoo, right? Before they change anything. Right? Because they need to learn their market.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
You need to know what's happening, what's really ingrained in what the teams are doing, the leaders are doing, the managers, and all that. So 90 days of focus on the person, their mindset, and bringing that up into Shira mode, Superwoman mode, Superman mode, Clark Kent mode. That's what I work on first, and it's a beautiful process, right? And it also brings true clarity to the individual. That's what entrepreneur is about.
I love what you're saying, because I really do feel when you have clarity, your ideas, your focus is just right there. I find it like it's like the North Star, right? Once you have your clarity, everything is there. And then after that, the action, you'll just be like, oh, does it lead me to my North Star? Yes or no? Yes, I go for it. No, we put it aside. And so I understand why those 90 days transform someone.
Yeah.
And transform the business, right? Because when you work on the person, or when we work on ourselves, it will eventually, or like almost immediately, affect the way we run the business.
Yeah. So that's a good point, because with just data research that I've done before on objections,
yes,
people do not hire coaches. This is unbelievable to me.
They do not.
This is things objections that I've researched, right, on why. And like I said, it's a mental, they're stuck mentally, because they look at it as like, well, for instance, I'm going to put myself as the coach, right? Well, why I don't need to hire Yesenia right now, because what I need to do is focus on making money. And if I hire Yesenia, well, she's just going to work on me. We're going to be working on me for 90 days. Why is she making money for my business, right? And it's like, that's an objection. That is a stuck point of their mindset, their programming, which in turn is complete opposite. It's like, you get yourself in check, you have full clarity, you're the man, you're that lioness, right? You're that Phoenix, you're that Clark Kent, all right? That Superwoman. baby, like all of that money is going to flow to you. You know, whatever that goal, that business goal or that next level of corporate position that you want, it just comes to you, right? And that's the beauty of it, because through the process, you know, people just realize, oh my gosh, I was chasing the wrong thing. This is what I do. This is my passion. This is my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty.
But I think that mindset, if I could just interject for a sec, I think that mindset just comes from the fact that when you're starting a business, or at least when you're advised, or everybody's saying, start a business, become an entrepreneur, yada yada. A lot of it comes from not understanding that running a business comes from so much more than knowing how to sell a product or offer a service. Like there's so much that goes on in the background or on the back end that most of the time, most people just see the end product, right? They see, if we're in real estate, they see you sell the house. They see you put something under contract. They don't know all of the nuances or all of the different pieces that you had to put together to just even get to the point of getting close to a closing or getting that $70,000 check or whatever it is. And so I think, and it took me a while to kind of even get there as well, because I didn't really just personally understand the power of coaching, because I was so focused on, no, I just spent some money on a coaching program. Like on an education program. I have to go make money so that I can run this business. But now it's understanding that if my mindset isn't in a certain place, if I'm not thinking about things in a certain way or working towards something, then I'm going to continue to be chasing the money, because I'm not in a place where I need to be in order to run the business. So everything that you're saying, I totally resonate with. And I just felt I should mention that, because I think that is the misconception of a lot of business owners. It's that, no, I have to make money in order to run the business, but it's so much more. So
100% on point.
I kind of related to a new construction, your mindset is the foundation. You got to pour that foundation for that new construction, and that's your mindset. You got to pour into your mindset in order to build up and build out.
Yeah. Oh, I love your analogy.
That's good.
I wanted to touch a little bit on how you were saying that once your mindset is there and you have the clarity, then things come to you, like those opportunities, like a little bit like you were saying, that things are happening in your life organically. Like you're having, it wasn't something that you planned saying, oh, I'm going to do residential and then I'll do this, then I do that, then I do the development, then I do the multifamily. Like you said, it came organically because you had clarity, right?
Yes.
Like how things like that work? It feels like it's like magic at this point. Like you don't learn that in textbook.
No, you don't. Even in my corporate world, it was like that, which is interesting, right? Like even when in the Air Force, when I worked for Hewlett Packard software, like everything just came together. Right. I believe that if you really believe it, if you really just make that decision and it's internal and your intuition, your spirit, right? Everything about you knows that that's yours already. The universe is listening, right? The universe, God, whatever it is that you in words verbalize that to, connect that to, it's listening. God is listening. The universe is listening, and I strongly believe that is part of one of those little, verses in the Bible that says, hey, tell me all the desires of your heart.
I love that.
I will deliver, not necessarily in those words, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
That specific verse. And I, it's like sprinkle it's like sprinkles of magic, you know. Sometimes, sometimes it's like I'm in love with life, guys. So to me, I think that this is everybody's life, yet it's not. And I have to remind myself, like, hey, people need people like us to help them get there, right? It's a discipline of, hey, when I wake up in the morning, I dedicate my everything, every step, every word, everything that I hear, everything that comes out of my mouth. And I really do this. Okay. I'm not saying I'm perfect, yet I'm saying that I put myself into action of a vessel of, hey, whoever I need to speak with today, I allow that to just come up.
Mm-hmm.
The transaction of my business for this and this and this, allow it. It's already done. It's already done, my coaching, I don't chase clients. Okay. I don't believe in that. If you want change and you know it and you're committed to it, I'm here. Let's go. Let's get you there. Right. I'm not a believer on chasing clients. Right. Yet, hopefully this answered the question. I pray a lot in the mornings. I meditate. I have a very, very strong relationship with the universe, aka, if that's God to you, universe, same thing. In my book is the same. I'm a pastor's kid, by the way. Yeah, that's funny. But, I believe that we just have to be connected to us, our truest self, and really search for what that really means to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once you find that, if you have it in you to be an entrepreneur, like that's a thing, like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur. Since little, I've been saying that. Since little.
Wow.
Since little. I mean, my mom, I was always coming to my mom with all kinds of, look, Mom, I did this and that, and, let's do this and let's do that, and da, da, da. I was always coming up with something. And now, look, I have 2 companies that they're just blessed every day. Coming out with a book about mindset.
Oh,
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
I'm excited about that.
You held on to that this whole time?
I know.
Yeah. So I have to finish that and publish it and get it out there. It's almost done.
Very nice.
Yet, I really believe prayer and meditation and really knowing who you are, it's key, and not being afraid of it. There's a lot of people that are afraid of it.
It sounds a lot of like what you're saying is a lot of manifestation, a lot of intuition. Like that's the thoughts that come to mind as you've been speaking. So
yes.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask if if you have any advice or words of wisdom for anybody that's looking to become an entrepreneur or get into real estate. I mean, we always bring it back to real estate because that's what we all do, but any kind of entrepreneurship, what would you say? But I think you've said enough. I think everything that you said was, unless you have some more, like, pour it on me if you have more.
No, it's most like, if you want the transformation, you know which coach to go to, right?
Yes. Exactly.
Yespreneur. There you go.
Yes.
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 I love the name too. Yespreneur. Like that's
Yespreneur.
There's a retreat coming up.
It's true. Yes.
5th, 6th, and 7th in Georgia. is Say Yes to You. This is for, we only have availability for 30 beautiful women, right? So we have a full weekend of fun play shops that are really gonna help you. Let's put it this way: help you dance with yourself and say yes to you. Self-love, right? Self-love, discovering who you really are, saying yes to you, and learning more about why you do the things you do that you don't want to do. Does that make sense?
Definitely. It's very
Yeah.
powerful.
100%.
And I just put the website link for your for your event in the chat. So, oh, excuse me, not in the chat. Forget which platform I'm on sometimes. In the comments section. So, if anyone is interested in finding out more information about this amazing retreat, please find that in the comments.
Yeah, keep an eye out. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, you've been amazing. And this,
Yes.
I mean, I feel like I'm in a coaching session right now. Like I'm picking up
yes.
all of the gems
100%.
that you are dropping right now.
Yeah.
And you know, I just keep thinking, like, you know, this is like you went from the little girl in Ukiyo, Puerto Rico, to this wonderful person that have journey and who is so generous about sharing it with, you know, the whole world, basically, that we are allowed to step into our greatness, to say yes to a better life.
Yes. Yes. And we've, you know, life has happened to me too, right? I mean, I've fallen, I've been hurt and depressed, and you know, and it's about how, it's not about how you fall, yet the journey on your way up, and how you come out of it, in a sense of, yes, stronger for you, and also serving those that are needing to hear that are needing that strength, your energy strength to be poured out into them, right? So that's my prayers, that God allows my path to connect with those type of people, that we can change their lives, right? And that we can put people out there that are stronger mentally, right? And also with a lot of love.
Mm-hmm.
These two things shouldn't be so separated, right? It should be aligned. And that's the key. Alignment here, and then all the way up.
To the top.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yesenia, we're coming to the end of the show, but will you promise us for a comeback on this just door that you've opened into falling and you're on your way up? Because I think we need a little bit digging.
We already agreed on the 50th episode. I mean, she can come back before then too, of
yes,
course.
there you go. More than that, so we know the rest of the story.
Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you
love
so
to.
much for your time, and thank you for being you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
This
Thank you.
was awesome. And I don't know, is there anything that you would want to leave the audience with? I mean, you shared a ton in this time that we've been together, but I don't know if there were any last parting words or gems that you'd like to leave us with.
You know, if you're listening and you're out there and there's, you know, you're hurting for some reason, doesn't matter the reason, you're not alone. Reach out to any of us. You know, we're here. Yes, we're in real estate. Yes, we love real estate. But my number one passion is humanity and helping humanity. So thank you.
Awesome.
Yes,
Wow,
thank you.
beautiful.
And
So
if I could just, I'm sorry, Kim, I just
Go
wanted
ahead.
to mention that Yesenia has been gracious enough to leave us or give us her contact information if anybody wants to reach out to her. So I did put that in the comments as well for anyone who's watching or listening. So she's definitely, as you can hear, she's definitely open to helping anyone who's ready to change their lives, step into their power.
Woohoo! Yeah. Woo!
And that all enough said. So ladies, thank you so much. Yesenia, it was amazing talking to you and hearing your
Yes.
story and going through your journey. And until next Thursday, we're here every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Know your why.
Know your heart.
And know your purpose. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.